A lot of men are upset about a video I made detailing the US women's national team fight for equal pay and how the result of that entitled them to half of the US men's national team's earnings from this year's FIFA World Cup. So I do want to go through a couple of the complaints and incorrect assertions that are being made about this. The first is that women should not earn the same amount as the men because they bring in less money to the US Soccer Federation. This is, interestingly enough, part of the legal defense that the US Soccer Federation used in this lawsuit. And that's also why we know that it's factually incorrect. During the time of this lawsuit, the US women's national team actually brought in more money than the US men's national team did for the US Soccer Federation. This is largely due to the fact that they were winning a lot more games than the men were. And despite the fact that they were bringing in more revenue, they were being paid less. Next, there are these arguments about viewership saying that men bring in more viewership than women do when it comes to US soccer. And in 2019, when this lawsuit was filed, the highest rated soccer game in the history of US viewership was actually a women's game. And that was the 2015 US Women's National Team FIFA World Cup final, where they won their third title. A number of people believe that the US Women's National Team agreed to the CBA that they were suing to get out of because they felt it was a safer agreement and did not take the agreement that the men had, and that they were suing to get out of an agreement that they had made because they believed they had made the wrong choice. The issue here is that the women were never presented the same contract as the men had. It was never an option, and the fact that it wasn't presented was a very important part of them ultimately winning this lawsuit. And then there's a bit of confusion about how the actual payment structure for a US national team works. The FIFA World Cup is not the only time that the US national teams play, and it's not the only way that these teams generate revenue for the US Soccer Federation. In fact, if that were the case, the entirety of the US men's national team would have earned exactly $0 in 2018, given the fact that they actually did not even qualify for the World Cup that year. Both the men's and the women's teams are competing in games every year, and the lawsuit was about equal pay across all of that. All players on the US national team, whether it's men or women, are paid a certain amount for showing up to the game at all. In 2016, that game appearance fee was $3,600 for the women and $5,000 for the men. The women's team was entitled to an additional $1,350 for every game they won, while the men's bonus was $8,166. Across the board, the women were paid less for playing games, for winning games, for other performance bonuses, and even in their per diem when they were traveling, despite the fact that they were winning more, bringing in more fans, and actually bringing in more revenue. Their slogan during this entire fight was equal pay for equal play, but they were actually playing more and being paid less. And that's why ultimately they won the lawsuit and have a new pay structure that includes all players being paid the same amount for showing up to games, and yes, splitting the prize fund from both the FIFA Men's World Cup and the FIFA Women's World Cup. And for those of you who are interested in learning a lot about this lawsuit, I highly recommend the documentary LFG, which was made during the lawsuit and includes the players' perspectives on their own. For more videos like this, be sure to follow along.